Okay, here we go.
Everybody. Hi, Patrick. How you doing?
I'm
Hello.
well, Ed. How are you?
I'm hanging in there, baby. Hanging in there. Just getting into the city here. Getting ready to go to practice this afternoon. Pick our players up and get ready for another tough road game. But appreciate you all being on, and I'm open to whomever wants to ask questions first, and we'll go from there.
Okay,
And
guys, it's been a while since we've done this. So actually, Patrick, we were going to start with you anyway. So just but a reminder to everyone else, um, please make sure you say your affiliation when you ask a question, and just raise your hand for questions, and we'll go around the horn.
I'll just kind of start with you've obviously had a lot of close losses over the course of the last couple weeks, 3 weeks or so. But do you feel like some of the last night is explained by maybe having, just a little bit more too much weight on some guys after having so many struggles and you play a decent first half defensively and it's still tight and things kind of get away from you. Do you feel like a little bit of that is just sort of a things kind of falling on some guys pretty hard at this point?
I got to think about that. Hmm, tough question because we've talked about some of the frustrations that are coming out of our players during the game. I had some one-on-one meetings with them until the wee hours of the morning. Talked to the young men today on the train, about stress, about anxiety, about pressure, and all of them are trying hard. When the ball's not going in the basket, I think guys are pressing. I think guys are pressing. Defensively, again, I thought we played a solid game. I didn't expect us to have that many turnovers in the game, which is not normal for us. So, I thought we defended at another high level yesterday. It's, the mistakes we made turn into easy points for them. So maybe they're thinking about that, as far as trying to shoulder the load. But I also think you still have to play the right way. And in some of the instances, when I look at our shooting percentages individually, some of these guys are just not making or taking the right shot. I think if we spread the ball out a little bit more, it would be a little bit easier.
And you mentioned the turnovers. They were up a little bit against Connecticut, but it didn't cost you that much in that game. It
Well, the
obviously cost you
turnovers cost us the game yesterday for sure.
a lot.
100% cost us the game.
How is that back-to-back games with that? Is it disconcerting that that's happening, or do you see that as more isolated than anything else at this
I think it's a combination of both because, critical turnovers in the Connecticut game, but yesterday for sure, even to start the second half, just lackadaisical, not playing off of 2 feet, open air turnovers. Our transition defense yesterday on 3 occasions where, our balance was where we didn't need it. I think the anxiety for everybody to try to do someone else's job, it just manifested itself yesterday. So we had to try to rein our guys back in and get them back on the same page.
point? Thank you.
Thank you, Patrick. I appreciate it.
We'll go to Marcus.
Coach, just how as a coaching staff can you have them continue to trust each other out there as opposed to trying to do too much on their own?
Another fair question. You got to show them. You got to show them, developmental film. You got to show them positional film. You got to show them when we do things right, here is the result. When you're taking these bad shots, it is the first pass to a transition basket for someone else. When you move the ball, there's more floor balance. Again, there was a shot. I think we were down 3 the other day to Connecticut. We had a design play for Caleb, and it was a wide open shot. You see us all clapping. It didn't go in, yet those are the plays. You run enough of those good plays, you will find yourself in a really good situation. I just felt we haven't had that. So as a staff, it's the balance between, showing developmental things and then showing things that execute that we do well, and here are the results.
And it didn't seem like Julius or Vince got a lot of touches last night. Was that just something that Villanova was taking away? Because both of them were very limited in actual touches where they could get shot attempts.
I got to give Villanova a lot of credit where they smothered the lane, coaching against Kevin. He played the statistics of these other guys that are shooting the ball. That's why it was frustrating when we didn't spray the ball out. I thought the physicality on the interior bothered us. I thought their physicality was greater than ours yesterday. And again, you got to demand the ball in there. If you want something, you got to demand it. And I don't think we were as demanding. We opened the game and tried to throw the ball inside. We opened the second half and tried to throw the ball inside. It just wasn't meant to be for whatever reason yesterday.
And this is my last question. Has the staff made a decision on Gabriel, and will that decision be made soon if you haven't made a decision?
Made on Sunday evening. I still got to talk with his parents.
Thank you, Coach.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
John Titel.
Coach John Titel from Hoops HD. You mentioned how the players are feeling pressure. I feel that I should ask you if you're feeling any pressure. Part of me thinks that any coach who loses 7 straight conference games is, but part of me thinks that any coach who can beat Clemson and almost beat UConn isn't. So I was curious what your thoughts are on your own pressure, while understanding the pressure is a privilege, of course.
I appreciate you stating that, because it is an incredible privilege to have the leadership role to do so. My pressure comes off wanting to win for everyone else, not myself. My pressure comes off of trying to reestablish a program. We're in a situation I never foresaw coming. I think we've been in enough high quality games where the results are not what we wanted them to be. But again, self-pressure, no. Mine is exterior for everyone else, whether for our students, a lot for our community, for our alum, for our former players. And honestly, John, I think it's a fair question because, as the leader, you got to take responsibility for what's happening on the floor. Do we got to make some changes? I don't like change at all. I don't, but that may be a necessary thing to either wake people up, put more accountability on individuals that have the longest rope to grow. There's a lot to be said there, but in short, to answer your question, I don't feel individual pressure. I feel pressure to win for everyone else.
Okay, Nate.
Hi, Coach.
Hi, Nick. How are you?
Good. How are you? You've had these, I guess, long stretches in quite a few games now, where it feels like nothing from the field is falling. Do you think it's shot selection? Is it mental? Is it something else?
I think a lot of it is playing the right way. I do believe it is shot selection, 100%. In our last press, we talked about red light, green light, yellow light, right? Some of our guys is, shooting the ball, at the red light, and those are just not good shots, and the shooting percentages show it.
And I mean, if that's the case, do you think about changing up the lineups in those kind of scenarios or something more drastic? I know you just mentioned thinking about change.
We're thinking about a lot of things. All things are on deck right now, man. You lose 7 games in a row. I don't think it's a talent thing. It's a will, it's a want, it's a discipline. I mean, when you've lost some games, you're going to micro pick everything. Every single thing you're going to micro pick. So, anything's possible right now. We'll see how our men are in our preparation today as we get ready to prepare for Providence.
And then, I mean, Providence, obviously, it's going to be a pretty hostile environment. Are you preparing?
Just a little.
Are you preparing? Or are you talking to the team in any special way about how to deal with a place that's going to probably be pretty loud?
We've talked about it a little bit in this morning's meeting. We talked to, Caleb played in this game. Did Caleb play last year? Was he out? I don't remember. I know Malik played in it. I know Kayvon was in the building. Julius was in the building. Seal was in the building, but they didn't play in the game. But, it'll be a pretty hostile environment, which, on the road it should be. I didn't think yesterday was a cakewalk. That's for damn sure, right? You go into these arenas, they're type environments to play in.
And then as what would it mean to go home and to win this game, break out of this losing streak?
I mean, our focus right now is we got to find a way to win a game, right? And I think everything is when you look at it, there's a bigger picture, but the small picture is to focus on one game. Whether it was, yesterday, whether it was, Connecticut, it happens to be Providence, where I coach last. It just happens to be the next game on the schedule. Any win right now will be a great win.
And then as last one for me, what's your message to the students who maybe haven't been super engaged and they just see a 1-7 record, but like, what's your
You
message
know
to them?
what? To their credit, and again, what comes first? They've helped us in some of the games. Continue to believe in us. Show up, right? Still have your pride. We still are Georgetown, right? Our kids are 100% giving everything they got. We have to be more disciplined and continue to play the right way and trust one another. Again, we're a very dangerous 1-7 team right now that I'm pretty sure the preparation to prepare for us is very daunting.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
First of all, John, thank you for that note of who played. Thank you for looking that up. It's in the chat, so we have that now. But we'll move to Gideon.
Yeah, thanks, Coach. I appreciate you doing this. Just a couple of questions from me. First, kind of small picture, then maybe a bigger picture one. You've mentioned leadership at a few times this year and your internal leadership. After the performance yesterday, this was clearly not what you're expecting from your guys. What are you looking for from specific leaders, and do you have confidence that they'll rise to the occasion, particularly in a really, really tough situation coming up on Saturday against Providence?
Anytime you look at leadership, you look for self-accountability that earns the respect of the rest of the group. Are you doing your job? Are you holding yourself accountable to doing your job before you can, mention what someone else is doing, whether it's positive or negative? You earn respect on accountability. From there, you look for like who's demanding, who's vocal, right? Who's producing. And it don't start with the games. It starts in practice. It starts in film sessions. It starts in individuals. It starts in conditioning. All those things tie into, winning plays. This is what winning looks like. This is what winning feels like. And again, like I told you, I'm surprised we're at that because I thought we had all those traits in the early part of the season. And for whatever reason, we've lost that mojo that we're trying to get back.
And you've talked about the struggles with shot selection and some of those issues, particularly from the guards. Even before the second half yesterday, they start that game 3 of 16 with 6 turnovers from the guards. How are you thinking about turning those types of struggles around? Is it just, creation? Is it execution? Or is there a deeper offensive kind of philosophy shift within the game plan that you're thinking about?
Put another player out there.
Yeah.
I mean, we've shown a lot of film, we're 1-7. Again, I don't like drastic change. I don't. I try to give every player an opportunity that has been in that role. Yet if you're not going to change, I have to change. So that's an easy answer.
And last one from me, just a little bit of a big picture, if you'll permit me. You noted that this team is not where you expected it to be, and particularly even after the first part of the season. And this comes in a process of rebuilding a program that really bottomed out to an extent before you even came here. But, I think some fans see the 11-37 Big East record versus a team like Villanova having some success. What do you say to that frustration and thinking about that dichotomy a little bit when it's on display in a performance like last night?
Sure. Clearly underperforming. Clearly, there should be some frustration, but I still believe in what we do. I believe we have a good team. I believe we have a talented team. There's games to be played. And again, they have the right to be frustrated, right? I think we're all frustrated, something we didn't see. Well, whether it's 11 and 100, I still believe in what we do works. It is proven it works. We're right there at the finish line with 90% of the games we've played. We got to find a way to get over the hump, and trust, faith, and belief are the things that get you over the hump, right? I appreciate the passion of those who care. And that's, to John's question, is the pressure I feel externally for those people that have such great pride and support for the Hoyas program. So, it's a process. It's not going to be easy. Definitely didn't see this coming. But, as Bill Belichick is, your record is what it is, and on to Cincinnati. So we're on to Providence College.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate you doing this.
Appreciate you.
Jeremy Huber.
Hey, Ed, how much do you have to give thought to guys getting shooters out there that might not be up to your defensive standards, or is that a non-starter for you?
I think it's a fine balance. It's, there's, some of our guys are more talented offensively than they are defensively and vice versa. Know-how and systematic know-how. I thought our last 2 or 3 games defensively, we've been right there defensively. I think some of our guys are getting the right shots. We haven't converted on them, but that's the balance we deal with our staff. It's not like you have, somebody who's a lights out shooter, hell of a defender. Our closest person to that right now who's emerging in our eyes has definitely been Isaiah. Isaiah's really coming along, so we're trying to get him more looks at the basket, right? So that's a fine line in coaching, right? To try to have that balance, know-how, skill set, physicality, defensive mindset, will and want, and also be a productive offensive player. That's a tough call.
Last one from me. It's been, I guess, a little under a year since Thomas got hurt in that game that kind of sent the season downward. Thinking about that, then the draft where you get 2 guys drafted, then Canada looking good, the Clemson win, then this. Have you ever had a year like this, a calendar year where it's been like so much up and down as a coach?
I currently right now I'm dealing with vertigo, and I should have it based on I've never ever had a season like this, with the inner expectation of what I feel we have in our locker room. And so I still have incredibly high hopes to Vince going down the way he went down, to our identity changing once again. It's just been a super, super roller coaster. And so we all have to stay patient the best that we can, stay committed to the process of which it takes to be successful. And we got to try to get over the hump one game at a time. That's not coach speak. That's what we can control. And that's what we're going to continue to educate our men on.
Thanks, Ed.
Appreciate you.
Just a reminder that Coach has a hard out for practice by 2:30 p.m. So make sure to raise your hand if you have any other questions. We'll go back to Patrick Stevens.
How much good do you take from what Kayvon was able to do last night? Even if, obviously the game didn't go well, but that was probably one of his better games of the season.
It was the best game of his career, but I've been seeing it in practice. I thought he was our most physical, efficient player yesterday on both sides of the ball. I loved his purpose. That gave me some hope for what we're trying to do moving forward, for sure. And again, people come on at different times of the year. And I thought he chose a really, really good time to play that well in that particular moment when we really needed him. So, that'll definitely give him a little bit more rope to play.
Thank you.
Thank you, Patrick. I appreciate it.
Okay. Any other questions for Coach? No? Okay.
Well, I appreciate you all. I really appreciate you all. This is, like I said, something that a lot of times people want to run and hide in these really hard situations. But the loyalty that each and every one of you has shown at our games, showing up for when we have our media availability, I got to do my job as you do your job. And the last thing I want to do is hide during adversity. So I appreciate all your questions and look forward to seeing you guys sometime soon.
Okay. Thank you so much, Coach. Good luck at practice today. Thanks for everyone joining us.
Thanks.
Just to note, we will be sending out a recording of this as well. So hope you should get that from Diana or Joey in the next hour or so. So thanks again, and
Thank you.
we'll see everyone soon.